Yeah. I used to have a briefcase carry all the stuff in, and then the handle broke, so much stuff with it. I never did get another one.
Should be all right. How you doing, sir? That's what he's going on.
Hey,
What are you doing?
not much. No, not same old shit every day.
Please don't.
Oh, well, you should have. I was there all day.
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
How are you?
You had staff this afternoon, didn't you?
Yeah.
Is Bill coming?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Just wondered.
He called.
Oh, okay. I need his AKP stuff. I've gotten 2 different calls from mostly the same person wanting to know when it's going to happen. I said, "Sure, give me a minute." Well, they just want to know because it's one of those groups that they're going to go buy food and stuff for Thanksgiving and that. I said, "I'll go."
Going.
That's what you've been. We got that He said they had they brought up our garbage that they had.
Did you want a pin?
I was thinking my pocket on the bottom of the sheet and take it here. I said, you throw that much away after you're done every time. He said, well, they can wait. I said, no, you can wait. Give it to them now. I gotta get them out of here.
Did you move your coffin?
They were.
I haven't been by the house.
Yeah.
Have you? Well, I went by the Saturday of Buck's wedding to see it.
Yeah, yesterday.
And then I went by a day or 2 later on my way to work, and I thought, oh, it's still there. No big deal, you know. And I thought, okay. But I haven't been by there recently.
Yesterday.
Okay.
That back up there. Sure it's quick.
Oh.
It's a good pin, but it's just. It'll work.
I'm okay. How are you?
Yes, it is.
Good.
The do's and don'ts.
What? Oh, I don't know. I got mine. There's none over there on the chair.
I noticed it.
Oh, I don't know.
Check into there.
There's not much. Most is on council. You know, there's different things, but
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's the other one.
I don't know where they're supposed to be. They're usually here. Okay.
I talked to the one here just
Across the way. And I think someone. Check it out. No, I don't. The only thing I can think of, like I told you, was they called us.
pretty obvious.
You have all the boys Saturday.
Yeah, I seen one name, and I was like, well, that's probably who I think it is, so then I went.
I don't know.
And the other one, that was the main
Did Bill call you? We got a couple minutes yet.
I haven't talked to him, I don't think so.
I was just asking Aaron if he'd heard or seen anything out of it. I haven't seen him since Thursday, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
He did pass.
Call me.
He did pass the job site Friday late day. I was over the cabin.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't stop.
Did Tyler have his new car down there?
That was Lester.
I haven't really got to see him in it yet. Oh,
You were the first one I needed.
I don't know. How was the chamber doing? Good. Was it?
Is there a resolution?
Well, Greg Bud came in and was talking, he said, you want dinner? And I said, no. He said, why not? I said, cause.
they needed it for gas.
Oh, okay, well.
Different idea.
Unfortunately. Well, yeah.
You coming?
Well.
All right. All right.
What? Oh, I gotta call him in tomorrow.
Y'all ready? You guys ready?
Yeah, whenever you are. You ready? Ooh.
Call us Board of Works meeting to order.
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
Roll call, please.
Yeah, as soon as I get my thing. Member Donnie Bryant.
Present.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Bill Bruner is absent. Member Mario Todd.
Here.
Member Mayor Carr.
Here.
We don't have a policeman here tonight? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, honey, I never know whether it's you or your brother. I'm so sorry. No problem.
You got a badge on the front of him?
Well, I didn't know. I tried to figure it out from looking at his, okay. Police Officer Nick Meyer.
Yes.
Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine.
Here.
EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Here.
Attorney Leslie Votaw.
Here.
Utility Director Mel Davis.
Here.
Mayor Dennis Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements?
I know.
Hearing none, approved minutes of previous meeting.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Committee reports. Fire Department Chief John Tremaine.
Everybody should have a copy of October's runs in front of you. It's 37 runs for the month. I wanted to get that out. I didn't get it out the first of the month, so. Also, I want to bring the board up to speed on the new, now it's 6 months old now, fire engine. When we spec'd this truck out, we required that the truck climb State Route 48 at a minimum of 45 miles an hour. And when we got it, it hung around 42. So we got with the group that sold it to us, and they got with Cummins, and this is drawn out over several months. Now they are replacing the rear end into it because we had to light a fire under them because we wasn't happy with it. So I just wanted to let you guys know what was going on and where it was. So.
Very good.
Also, Saturday, I want to bring you up to speed on situation we had. We responded to apartment building cooking fire, which we were en route, and they advised us that it was already extinguished. So we went there and evacuated the smoke out of the building and so on and so forth. Well, I got to talking to a young lady running around there. Come to find out, she was leaving the apartment complex, which the parking lot faced the second floor. It was a rise there. And she noticed a fire in an apartment building. And she got out, went in, sounded pulled the pull station, sounded the alarm, and grabbed the fire extinguisher and put it out. So I just wanted to let the board know that we will be recognizing this young lady here in the next couple of weeks for what she did, because she saved a lot of damage in an apartment with a lot of elderly. So so it was pretty neat, so. Also, tomorrow, if anybody is looking for me or Rob, we will be in Indianapolis. We are meeting with the fire marshal's office. We currently have juvenile fire setters program in place to where we take kids that have been in trouble with starting fires, so on and so forth, and we put them through this program. Interview, we make them complete projects, and it was all based out of the fire marshal's office. They're having a meeting tomorrow to decide whether or not they're going to keep it or disband it. So we're going to go up in support of it because we receive kids from the prosecutor's office, other fire departments, whoever's had issues with fire, and it's a really good program for the kids. So we'll be out of town most of the day tomorrow, but I will have my cell phone, so that's all I have.
Very well. Police Department Officer Nick Meyer.
No report.
Hard one in. EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Yeah, Mayor, the month of October, we had 127 calls. And just let the board know that our loading devices are in, and I'm going to be working with City Garage to get them mounted, our 2 units. And also, the board be aware that we are having an employee retire November the 28th, which is Thanksgiving Day. She will work that night, and that will be her last night to work for the City of Lawrenceburg and EMS.
The retirement parties.
Retirement party
Friday.
will be, Friday the 22nd
Mm-hmm.
at noon at the firehouse.
What time?
Pardon me?
What time?
Noon.
Noon.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Okay. New business. Hearing none, old business. Mike Clark, 2014 service maintenance truck.
Thank you, Your Honor. Last meeting, we had a bid opening for the new maintenance truck. And after going through all the bids, I did have to disqualify the low bidder for submitting an incomplete bid. We did receive a third bid the next day, late in the mail, which it's still unopened. So my recommendation to the board would be to go with the second bidder, which is a complete and responsive bid.
Your Honor, I have a few questions.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, the first one is $10,000 cheaper. Now, what was the problem with that bid?
Donnie, there were like 5 items that they were required to submit with the bid. They submitted 2 items of the 5.
I spoke to Steve Caldwell from Hag Ford. He told me that the only things that weren't included were the delivery schedule and the bid form. But he said the bid information was included in his.
There's 2 bid forms that were not included. And there again, in the past, we've rejected other low bids, unfortunately, for a lot more money than this because they omitted 1 item.
Has legal counsel looked over it,
We have.
in your opinion?
I don't believe it was a complete bid. And we thought about, because there was a late bidder,
Can we put it up for rebid?
it wouldn't be fair to Bloomington Ford, to have to rebid the whole thing because they did comply with everything.
So you're saying rebid is out of the question?
I'm not saying it's out of the question. That's one of the questions I put in to him, and I thought that, I just thought that it might be unfair.
Could I respond to that?
Yes.
Tell you what.
I'm Steve Caldwell from Hag Ford.
Go ahead.
Could I respond to that? First off, I'm Steve Caldwell from Hag Ford Sales. First of all, I'd like to apologize. We had not done that many of the bids for the municipalities, and I did omit a couple of the articles. But my bid quote was a complete bid as far as the required specs. What I gave them It matches the specs for the truck. My quote is $10,000 less than the other quote, into the nearest one. In the notice to bid, it says, "The city of Lawrenceburg reserves the right to accept or reject any and all bids and all parts thereof, and to buy to the advantage of the city." And I think that our bid is to the advantage of the city, and I did fill out the specs correctly. And we'd like to be able to have the city accept our bid to be able to save that much money.
I see one of them that he didn't do was the bid time period. We in that big a rush for a truck that we gotta,
Connie, and this affects the integrity of every bid we bid or quote. We follow a process. And there again, like I say, unfortunately, Steve and Hag Ford is not the first ones that have omitted information that has disqualified them.
well, I'd like to hear legal counsel's opinion on what he was just saying about.
That's pretty much what I was meaning. There's a precedence that we've set, and we have rejected bids if they don't have, and that's why the motion you make is after staff's approval, make sure they have everything in there. That's why every bid that you make, motion that you make for the bid is stated that way.
It says there that the board can,
That's what I was referring to.
yeah, that's exactly what it says in the packet that I was given, that the board has the option to,
I believe they do
To
have
do
the
that.
option. I do, but I understand what Mr. Clark's saying.
yeah. And as far as the time frame, on the time frame for a truck, that can be a very difficult thing, because the way these are all built by Ford Motor Company, all right, it's built in the order they're received. So if they would get a very large order right before the order that I put in, there could be a delay, probably not, but that also makes it difficult to be able to give a time frame.
But his specs met the requirements?
As far as I could tell, but I'm not gonna lie to you, Mayor, I didn't dig into every little piece. I mean, if someone's bid is incomplete, we put them in the disqualified file.
Mike, can you give examples? You said of past reductions.
Last year, I know we had a stormwater project at the Lawrenceburg Fairgrounds. TT Maintenance came in with the low bid. Paul H. Rowe Company came in at like $22,000 higher, and then there were about 3 or 4 other bidders on that project. But we had to reject TT Maintenance because they omitted one document. And when you advertise and you spec out requirements to bid or quote on something, that's what you have to follow, or else the other bidders, why bid it if you're not going to follow the rules? How do you?
Well, with having the language we have in there, you're opening the door for us to right to reject
That's
it.
in everything, because
If
there
it's
is
meeting
a
the
right to
specs.
do that. My concern is because it didn't come out for this vendor or this contractor, well, let's rebid it, throw them all away and rebid it. It concerns me just on the integrity of the process. But it's entirely up to this board on how you choose to handle it.
If you throw it out and rebid it, they already know what the guy's bid is. That's not fair either.
That's the unfairness of it.
So what's the recommendation of our attorney?
My recommendation is to go with what's recommended here tonight. I just don't see a way around it. And, if you want to table it and I can look into it further, I can do that. But the bid process is a process because it works and it's fair.
Well, I make a motion, we table it, and you look into it, and check the language again and see if it's infringing, the process is infringing on
And
our
if that's
rights.
somehow misleading after reading everything, then, maybe we would look at revising their bid forms, but.
But I think the third one here that did not have it in time, I think you need to
No,
stick
it-
with that.
The clerk treasurer's office received that the following day.
The next day.
I mean, you had to have a timeline.
Yeah.
You need a second to Donnie's motion.
All right, you got a
I'll
motion?
second it.
All in
Okay,
favor? All against?
okay.
Thank you.
The review and discuss claims board approval.
So move.
A second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion adjourned.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Utility in 5 minutes.
Pass that down to Brittany, please. Pass it to Mel. Mel, would you give that to Brittany,
head, he has to leave his stuff up there.
please? Okay. Good. Okay, that's that.
They forgot to bring last week, so I have this week.
Oh.
This last meeting and this meeting.
Find any old top reels or top caps? It's offhand, huh? So we're, I don't know.
Oh, just wondered. Huh? Oh, we're too old.
We're saving for children.
For teens.
They got almost $10,000.
Just thought I'd point that out. Now I know.
Save and work. Did you?
Oh. Oh. Okay, they want money too. I didn't bring that tonight, but they also want money. Everybody wants money.
Doing good.
Guns and hoses came in. Thank you. Yeah, they want donations like last year. Well, I know. Well, yeah, I got 2 of them here and I got 2 of them in the office. They've already been passed out. We don't have any money. End of the year. I can tell you exactly what we've got in the funds. They're not much. Yeah.
Yeah, because Grumpy ain't gonna get you steep.
No. Let me get settled, please. Of course not.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me if they
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. Transfer that to Brittany, please. Those are Brittany, those go to you. They're the sheets that they sign. Yeah. You need them to take back to the office. Oh, okay, maybe him and the mic did not. I'm sorry, that's my fault. I wasn't paying any attention. They came from this end, and I thought, okay.
Yeah, you're so well, you're so well versed. Mr. IT. You've heard of IT.
Call utility board meeting order. Roll call, please.
Member Jane Pope. Present. Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Bill Bruner is absent. Member Mike Lawrence.
Here.
Member J.R. Holcraft.
Here.
Attorney Leslie Votaw.
Here.
Utility Director Mel Davis.
Here.
Mayor Dennis Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements? Approved minutes previous meeting.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Committee reports.
Thank you, Your Honor. In the electric utility, we have completed the switchgear programming and operations, and we have power installed to the permanent transformers for the event center. The sewer, the contractor started the force main, so that's starting to progress. In the water, the domestic water line's going well out on Industrial Drive, and the contractor has just gotten started on the high-pressure water main. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay. New business. Hearing none, old business?
I have something under old business, if nobody else does.
Go ahead.
I'd asked about the trail utility vehicle at the last meeting. Just following up on that.
Mel, you got anything
Ms.
on that?
Votaw's handling that.
We're investigating it. But at this point, you know, there's no resolution. But it's we're looking into it. We need to talk to Tony again, and I did tell him to write down what happened as far as a narration of the events for me.
Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead. Review and discuss claims board approval.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Ayes have it. Motion adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call, please.
Member Jane Pope. Present. Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Bill Bruner is absent. Member Mike Lawrence.
Here.
Member J.R. Holcraft.
Here.
Police Nick Myers.
Here.
Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine.
Here.
EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Here.
Attorney Leslie Votaw.
Here.
Utility Director Mel Davis.
Here.
Mayor Dennis Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements?
Yeah, I have a few announcements. One of the things at the last meeting that happened was questions about the TV in the city garage. And I have some handouts here. You mind if I hand them out to everybody?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you pass that down to Aaron? Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
There was just a question of, who paid for the TV, what happened to the last TV, and who paid for the pop machine in the first place. And in this packet, you'll see that the pop machine was purchased by the employees' pop fund, and that when the employees went to go get the TV for the break room, they used their own money from that pop account and even paid taxes on the TV at Walmart out of that account. They didn't use the city's tax exempt status or anything. So I just want to bring that up at the meeting and give everybody a copy of that.
Okay.
I'd like to compliment whoever takes care of this Civil City Fund. They've done a good job, they've kept good records, and that's what we like to see. So thanks for bringing it to our attention.
The old TV's in the basement too for auction.
Okay.
Thank you, Brad.
Any more, Aaron?
Yeah, and the next thing is, some people have been saying they're getting stickers on their garbage cans that they're supposed to buy a city garbage can. And I told them that there's no city ordinance requiring residents to buy city trash cans. And that was the second thing.
That's going to be brought to the next meeting.
Okay. And the third thing was, about a month ago, I brought up about the city calendar, advertising it for the request for proposals to be advertised in the paper. But Jackie called me the other day and said it's not her job.
I don't have time.
Yeah, she don't have time. It's not her job. She didn't do it. It's too late now, she said. So I don't know if it's too late or not, or if anybody on the board would want me to write one up. And
Oh, I've got it written up, I just haven't done anything with it. I haven't had time.
I mean, I don't know what the board wanted to do with that as well. I mean, it's coming down to the deadline now.
Usually have your calendars by now.
Yeah, I don't know whose job it is. I mean, I don't.
Well, can we find out whose job it is? And
It was never anybody's job. In the previous administration, when the council that was here before, I told them, the mayor asked me, I told them I would do it. It's not that it's anybody's job, because it's surely not mine, but I picked up a lot of things from the previous administration just because of who was asking me to do it. I don't have time right now.
I mean, that's fine. I would set it all up, but I mean, whose job is it to, I mean, I can't call the paper and advertise stuff. So
My
whose job is
question-
it to advertise?
Excuse me, Aaron.
If you want to get whatever you get, I can take it to the paper.
I got the whole set of stuff here.
can I ask a legal question, Leslie?
Sure.
When this council votes on something to do something, for it to be done, whose job is it to see to it it's done?
Well, I guess, part of that might fall in the mayor's office.
I would
too,
send
you know,
depending
but
upon what it is.
Depending upon what it is.
I mean, I don't mind picking up the slack. I mean, next year I'm already planning on starting this process in March so we can get it done and not be on the crunch. But, I mean, I don't know who, like I said, I can't call the newspaper, so I don't know whose job that is.
It's just dropping off whatever you have. You
It's
just get
no
it
one's
to
job
Really
because
one's
everybody
job.
puts stuff in the paper.
Who's required to put bids in the paper?
I
For
think I
like the
am.
city vehicle.
them. All right.
So this is no different than putting in.
That is
a-
because it was a special thing. It's not something that was set out in the statute. The calendar is a special project that's been done for the last, I don't know how many years. But it was not, when it was originally set up, it was not in the statute that said it was part of my job.
I had it in my things to do, but then I thought, well, I don't want to make the parameters if, you know what I mean, it's something you guys,
Yeah, I mean,
obviously.
I mean, I don't mind doing it. If the board wants to give me permission, I'll write it up and take it down there tomorrow. I mean, it's request for proposals, turn it to the clerk's office by such and such a date. Any questions, call. I mean, I'll do that if everybody wants me to.
Then as far as the cost, are you going to put a cap on it, or, I mean,
Well, we can, I checked, just because I had a minute about a week or two ago, and we can get quotes. I checked with Charlie Pry. We don't have to do bids, we can get quotes, but you have to have 3 quotes.
Okay.
So you don't have to actually go through the whole bidding process.
Okay.
Board want Aaron to go ahead and do that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to let him do it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All against? Aaron, it's yours.
Thank you. I think.
You're welcome.
Can I ask a question on something Aaron brought up? The stickers on the garbage cans. I mean, if there's no ordinance that's coming at the next meeting, I guess, why are we putting stickers out there and you don't even know if there's going to be an ordinance?
true, I don't know about the stickers, but
Who's putting
it
the
is going to be brought up.
Brad, who's putting the stickers out?
I'm having all my guys do it.
Oh, okay, just wondered.
If you're gonna buy a truck, you gotta have proper cans that'll work with the truck.
But we can't force something on citizens if there's not an ordinance that says so.
We're gonna change the ordinances, as we talked in previous meetings, to make this truck work.
Well, who's going, I mean, this board votes on it,
You guys will.
but what if it doesn't get voted for?
We'll just have to go with what we got.
For $25. And it's a huge 96-gallon toter. I mean, it's not.
It is huge, because I don't put mine out every
You
time,
cannot buy that big of a garbage can.
not for
anywhere.
$25,
What's the
no.
total go, what's it cost?
Lowe's, you can get one for 64 gallon for $123.
Roughly what do we pay?
Yours are 95 gallons, you pay $60 a piece. We're charging the citizens 25. We did charge 10, but you guys voted up to 25.
See how it goes.
We've been doing it for 8 years now, all of a sudden it's a problem.
Okay.
And 98% of the citizens have them.
Well, it wasn't a problem, people buying them on their own, it's a problem with forcing people to buy them.
It is not being enforced. Okay, I'll say it. I'm the one that stick with the ladies' can.
I'm up there with Mike.
Come on up, Zach.
Alright, I'm the one that set the sticker out. The reason we set the stickers out is not forcing nobody to buy the can. It's because the can was broke. Has anybody's ever picked a garbage can up and it's broke, you pour garbage juice all down you? It's not the greatest thing ever. So we just put on there that you can purchase one from the city. We don't say you have to buy it. You can purchase it, or you can go to Lowe's and get it for $60-something. So I mean, or 120 for 64 gallons, or whatever it is.
Oh, the sticker doesn't say you have to buy it.
No, it says you can purchase one from the city of Lawrenceburg for $25. I mean, you can see the stickers out. You're more than happy to read it. I mean, we write it, personally write it on there, you know what I mean? So, that's what it is. I told Aaron about it too, so he knew.
Alright, thank you.
Can we reconsider the 2% of the people in the city of Lawrenceburg that don't own garbage cans to give them their first can free like we did the other citizens?
Never gave anybody one free. They paid $10.
Oh, $10?
$10.
10 was 10, now it's 25.
Was 10?
Okay.
I'm up there.
Okay. This process started almost 8 years ago where we started with the cans. Originally, the cans were $10. They were getting broke or people were stealing them so we were replacing them for free at no cost to the resident and the city was eating that. And the beginning of this year, we changed it to $25. Eventually, I mean, you've got 98% of the town has this can. At this point, to say whether it's an ordinance or not, you can make it an ordinance. Just do it. The cost on changing this at this point is ridiculous. To come back and say, well, I don't want this one to have it and this one, just like the elderly. I've had 3 or 4 elderly people come in and talk to me. Simple, very simple solution. They don't have to drag their can up and down their driveway, whether it's flat, whether it's up a hill. Brad has agreed to let them keep it at the bottom of the driveway, to have a special little symbol on it. The person who will run that truck will know that can will get to stay there. It's not like people are trying not to make it harder on the elderly where they have to pull these cans back and forth. It can stay there. It's not a problem. Anything else?
There's the brochure that you gave me, I looked at, and I'll distribute that at the next meeting. It's very helpful. It tells exactly how.
Right, which we
they
did that.
work.
We went through everything. When I typed that up, every question could possibly be asked, I answered in that brochure.
I hope, you never know what question is going to be asked.
I'm
Well,
hoping.
it was a good job.
Yeah.
It
So-
answered all
They
the
get to keep
questions.
these cans too.
Yeah,
They take them with them. We don't bring them back.
And that's the other issue is, people are saying, well, I had a lady come in today and she said, well, I rent this out, but I want to make sure the tenant, I said, the thing of it is if the homeowner buys the can, it stays with the home. If the renter buys the can, it stays with the renter, or unless the renter decides to leave it at the home. And that will also be in the brochure. It's a very simple, we've been doing it, we're at the end of it now. We've been doing it for almost 8 years, we're at the end of it. It's very silly to say that you wouldn't make it an ordinance or that you don't want to continue with it, especially when everybody just about has it.
Well, I have a few people in my block, they don't have them,
I can't imagine how, because even the home you live in has 2 of them.
I have 2, yeah.
Yeah, you have 2,
I'm
but
saying-
you don't have 2 because I believe your father-in-law purchased one, correct? Or did he purchase both of them?
he purchased it and he didn't want it, just like you said, but it's that person, so he gave it to me, so I have
Right,
two.
right.
But the people on 2 houses down from me, he has a trash can. He said he's not buying a city trash can. He has a regular trash can. Why would he buy another one? He don't use it that much.
Well, like I said, when they get the pamphlet that explains it all, then they'll know that they'll need to purchase it.
Where's that at? Because everybody around has a can.
For 2 houses down from me. Right across from the storage, they touch the alley in the back and back. Yeah.
I do.
Not a blue can.
I dumped it.
It's not, someone must put it there because he doesn't have one. Mike Marine's his name if you want to knock on his door.
I think he might have bought one.
He didn't. But as of today, he didn't. Maybe he bought one after I talked to him. But the other thing is, what are these cans when they get thrown over, when the guys drop them? How these other people going to pick them back up? Because I don't believe they can pick them back up. Some of the elderly people, when they're laying on their side.
I have never had anybody call the garage and tell me their can was on their side or that they threw the big blue can. I did, however, have people call and say their little metal cans have been thrown or whatever, and the garbage crew have been sent back up to put it back where
I'm
it
not saying
belongs.
it's itching. Mine's on its side right now, but I'm just saying I can pick mine back
Well,
up.
we're not responsible if the wind blows it or anything
I'm talking
like
about
that.
elderly people. How are they going to pick the cans back up? Maybe it's snowing, it's on its side. How are they going to put their bag in there? It's laying on its side or on its top.
You have an issue with any can.
That would be with anybody.
But they can take their smaller cans back to the house with them.
And they can leave that can sitting there if they're elderly.
I mean,
Aaron,
we
they
can argue
leave-
back and forth. I'm voting no on the ordinance anyway, but I mean, I was just trying to get some issues out there.
I have a couple.
Go ahead.
The brochure, is that something planning on mailing out in the utility bills, or?
I don't know. I think once you guys look at it, I guess they'll make the decision with
And
it.
then I was gonna ask, are we gonna get a copy to look at?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And,
I'll bring it next time with you, or put it in your packets for next.
You got it late Friday, why nobody has it?
Okay. There was something else I was gonna ask, and I forgot. Sorry.
That it?
Okay.
Okay.
Any more announcements?
Oh, one more thing on that, I remember what it was, but actually, and believe me, I have nothing against the elderly, but about leaving the can down there, because also we have ordinance, it tells, it goes out night before, certain times, gotta be back in, so.
In there, I'm sure in the ordinance it will read unless, specified by the civil city foreman or directed that
Right.
that can stay.
You can
put.
get permission if you need
Yeah,
to.
I believe I put that in there, didn't I?
Yeah, I think so.
You can get permission to break ordinances?
No, you can get permission if you're elderly to have someone do it for you, or they'll know that you can't put it back where it's supposed to be, but at a specified time. The specified time's in there right now.
Yeah, it says by 6 of the garbage day.
Yeah.
Okay. Approve the minutes of previous meeting.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Committee reports. Streets, alleys, and curbs, Aaron Cook.
No report, Mayor.
Finance, J.R. Holcraft.
Report's in the packet.
Bill Bill's not here. Fire Department, Police Chief,
No report, Mayor.
Fire Chief,
Nothing more than everybody should have October's run totals.
EMS Director.
Just let the council know, Jan is going to retire Thanksgiving Day, and her retirement party is coming Friday at noon at the firehouse.
Okay.
How many years did she work here?
She started with us, I want to say in '99. As volunteer, started out as volunteer, 98 or 99.
Thank you.
Building Department, Carl Fryman.
No report, Mayor, but I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the fire department. We ran, I think, 5 community services and been very helpful with 5 of their time, and we've done 2 out in the city picking up stuff. And seems to be a pretty good program, and I'd like to really thank Johnny and Smith for helping with that.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. New business. Kerry Holland, report on clearinghouse.
I have some handouts here. Each one of them are turned in. There's several things to it. I'm here to ask for help with the clearinghouse because we've had such a influx of people that we're having a really hard time keeping up with the food. We have, as you can see, 1,951 clients. As of the end of last year, it was 2,292 clients. I expect it to be at that or close to it by the end of the year. Right now, like today, I had 38 families coming in. It's to the point now that every day as we close that we're having to restock the shelves. Our stock is getting extremely low. I put a plea out to the community to try to get help. The holidays always get worse. Closer to in December, usually it gets up to 60 to 80 families a day. With us already struggling to keep food on the shelf, I'm just asking for everybody to, for you guys to help us a little bit with food. As you can see, these numbers show each county, how many is in each county. It shows how many is at each age level, and it shows, let me get down under here. And it shows ethnicity and race, income level. Everybody is below federal poverty level that's coming to us, and it shows by zip codes as well. So you can see that majority of these people are in Dearborn County. I think we have like 165 to 170 that are not, but the majority of everybody are in Dearborn County. We, as of last month in October, we served 2,121 lunches and groceries. This month, our numbers are even higher, so I'm expecting it to be a lot higher this month. Do you have any questions that I can answer? Or?
Anybody have questions?
I've only got 3 pages of 7.
This is all messed up, so.
Sorry.
I'm not sure.
I
Got
heard the
any
name of
4s or
the right out here.
6 or 7?
Carrie, did you all apply to the AEP in fall?
We did, and we
Okay.
got $10,000.
In spring or fall?
In the fall, no.
You haven't gotten it yet?
Here's some extra.
No, I did not apply for the fall one.
Okay, you applied in spring?
I applied for the spring.
Okay.
I actually did not know that there was a fall.
Well, you can't do both. You can only
Okay.
get money once a year.
Yeah, I got the
That's-
spring.
I wasn't sure if you guys applied this time or the time before.
Yeah, we applied. We apply
Okay.
every year. But it's
Okay.
just, our clients are climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing. And it's just really gotten hard to keep food on the shelves. So I know this seems like a small, in our minds, we think, we all have food at home in our pantry, but there's a lot of clients that don't. Like, I can give you some stories. Like, I have a woman that's trying to raise her granddaughter. She's got brain cancer, and we're a big source of helping her survive. Yeah, she gets food stamps, but it doesn't make it all the way through to the month. So, stories like that. I have people come in that haven't eaten in 3 days. And, I had one lady, she says, I'm losing weight, my friends are, and compliment me because I'm losing weight, but I'm embarrassed to tell them it's because I don't have food at home. These are the kind of stories and things that we're dealing with on a daily basis at the clearinghouse. So.
Anything on the board?
Jackie, how much we got in our coffers?
Not much. It's the end of the year. City marketing has, as of today, has $2,032.16. Council donations is in the red. Mayor's promotion has got $1,166.03. And those are the 3 basic funds.
Question, how'd you let council go in the red when we keep track of it every time we ask for money and
But
you
you guys
tell
kept
us?
spending money.
But you
But
tell
at
us
the
it's
last
there,
meeting-
Well, but it went in the red before the last meeting.
and you wasn't aware of that.
No, evidently not.
Isn't that your job?
Part of my job, probably.
You
But,
got
you know-
3 employees in your office right now. Delegate work if you can't handle it.
Jane, get over it, please.
I'll not till that office is straightened out over there.
Well, it's almost. We're close.
So what are we gonna do about getting council out of the red?
Well, I figure that at the end of in December, I'll have to do a transfer of funds, get that out of the red. I'll put some money in some other ones that will need money and work it all out, hopefully.
So what was our other 2 options?
City marketing has a little over $2,000, and the mayor's promotion fund has 1,166 and a couple of pennies.
Looking at a little over 3,000 total.
Yeah.
Do we have 2 meetings?
What?
We have 2 meetings in December, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I understand. I see it. I know people that can't afford to go buy groceries. And I know people that are right in the middle where they don't qualify for food stamps. They had an Arch Street Gang canned food drive. And to the sadness of my heart, there was a little boy down there that ate 2 hot dogs. He said, my parents have nothing to eat at home. They wrapped up 6 hot dogs and sent that little boy home with 6 hot dogs.
Yeah.
So it's in the community, and whatever we can do, I think we should try to help. And we've got another request coming up. I think a couple more from what I seen in front of me that wasn't in the packet.
If they went in the packet, they're not coming up tonight.
Which ones have you got, Jane, that didn't go in the packet?
Indiana Conservation Officer.
Oh, that's Guns and Hoses. Yeah, that was in the packet. Oh, no, that came in today. I'm sorry. I handed that out tonight. It came in today.
Next meeting.
And the next one's National Falling Firefighter.
Yeah, that came in today, too.
I don't know how much these people want or need.
Man, where's your office at?
We actually have 3 food outlets and 1 clothing outlet. The Aurora office is at First Presbyterian Church in Aurora down near Hill Forest. We're there on Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 to 1. On Tuesdays, we're at Zion.
I'm slow.
I'm sorry.
I'm a slow rider here.
I'm used to talking fast because I'm always in a hurry.
What days in Aurora?
Mondays and Wednesdays. Tuesdays, we're at Zion Church from 10 to 1. We really could use another day there, but we just haven't got it set yet. And on Thursdays, we're in Greendale from 10 to 1. And at Bethlehem Lutheran, Lawrenceburg is at Zion Church. I don't remember I said that. And then our clothing outlet is on Wednesdays from 2 to 4 at Beecher Church.
What are our stocks? I mean, how much do you have?
I'm sorry, our
What
stocks?
do you have in stock?
I've got a few donations today, but we may end up having to use some of it for the Thanksgiving bags. I know I have some mac and cheese, I have soup, some pasta. Like I said, everything is every day we're restocking the shelves. I can't tell you exact amount. I can get it and give it to you, or I can invite you to come over and take a look and see.
Man, what days in Greendale did you say?
I'm sorry, it's Thursdays from 10 to 1. Zion Church is where we usually keep our stock because they've given us a couple of.
Is the high school kids are they doing their thing for Thanksgiving this year?
South Dearborn High School is going to be doing a food drive. I'm not sure.
LHS is not?
I haven't heard from them. I know Central Elementary is, but I haven't heard anything from Lawrenceburg yet.
If somebody was gonna bring stuff, where would they bring it?
Any one of the locations, if you want to bring it and we're not open, the Lawrenceburg Chevrolet has got bins there. They're collecting for us on,
If somebody's gonna bring a lot, where would they bring?
I would say Tuesdays at Zion Church. That way it could be inventoried and distributed to the different locations.
And where's Zion Church?
Zion Church is on Walnut Street. You go to the first light.
It's this one.
Right, but you got to go around.
I just want to make sure. it wasn't
Yeah, you go
different.
around to the back.
At the alleyway.
To the alleyway.
And what time's that?
From 10 to 1. I'm actually there around 9:30 if you wanted to come before 10 o'clock. I know that.
Sounds like there's not much money here, but I'll bring you a good load.
Thank you. I know that usually I have green beans, and I'm almost out of green beans. Corn, I do have some corn, but it's really, we're overwhelmed this year, I guess I should say. And there's a lot of people have lost their jobs, and a lot of people, their food stamps have been cut, or they've run out of food stamps. I mean, it's just a lot of different reasons. So.
I can do $500 funds. I gotta buy some bicycles for the Christmas Santa Claus. I can do $500 out of my fund too. Pretty close.
How much does that leave us in? Is his fund called the marketing fund or the mayor's
No,
fund?
his fund is mayor promotion. Marketing has a little over $2,000 in it.
Brad's got something back there.
Make a motion, we put the money that we'd collected the beer cans from Fall Fest, give to her.
That was like
Packet.
$248.
72.
272.
Thank you.
That, well, we got it up now to $772. Let's go ahead and make it an even 1,000. Take some from promotional.
Marketing?
Yeah, marketing. Thank you, Brad. Thank you,
Yeah,
Civil
I need a
City.
motion for that.
I make a motion
Thank
that 500 comes out of the mayor's fund, 272 from the Civil City pop machine funds.
No.
What's the balance there, Jack?
Wait a minute.
That's not.
772.
No, 272.
I know, but 500 makes it 7.
And 228 from marketing
Yeah.
for the clearinghouse, 1,000 total.
Thank you.
You a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Pat Crowder, Winter Wonderland.
Thank you for your time. As you know, we're preparing for our annual Winter Wonderland, and I want to approach you all to request permission for use of the parking lot at High and Short Street. There are 2 parking lots there. It's the smaller of the 2. It's the one that's closer to the parking garage. We will be putting a Santa's Village there. We have a number of activities for the young people there for Saturday, December the 7th. And we wanted your permission to use that spot. And also, we will be having the parade on December the 7th. It's at 2 o'clock, and wanted to be able to use the city streets for that.
Anything on the board?
I'll make a motion.
What time is the parade?
Parade's at 2.
Got a motion, a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And I'd also like to take this opportunity to invite all of you to participate in that day. We have just an entire day full of lots of activities happening, and we urge you to bring your children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, whoever, and participate with us, and we hope you'll be there for the official lighting of the tree, and that's at 5:30. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pat. Myself and Aaron really enjoyed it last year.
Good. We're happy to have you.
Did you say the tree lighting's at 5, Pat?
5:30.
5:30, okay, thank you.
That's the vote tall resolution, interlocal for steamers milling.
In your packet, you have an interlocal agreement between the City of Lawrenceburg and Dearborn County Redevelopment Commission. This is for the one for the mill, and that's up in, there is an attachment to that interlocal as well. I do believe that Terry Randall is here. She can address that a little bit for you. But I also did include a resolution, which is your standard resolution as far as to enter into, allow the mayor to sign it. Terry, if you'd like to. I think there was one correction on the attachment.
Terry, would you like to speak on this?
believe it had to do with how much was actually invested. I believe they are at 6 million, is that correct?
Right. Terry Randall, County Administrator. First of all, I want to thank the Grant Committee. Commissioner Lynch sits on our Redevelopment Commission. The Grant Committee gave us a total of $1.5,700,000 in 2013 to assist with that project, and 2014 would be another $700,000, dividing that over. The county has made an investment in that project of over $3.5 million. What's happening is there is a new flour mill business that is well underway already in terms of construction. By the time we got the grant money, they were well committed, well on their way. They have spent $6 million so far already, and they've just done the work to get the ground ready to build on. As you know, a lot of that property is in the floodplain, so what's had to happen is a lot of the money they've spent up front is just to make it so they could even build on it in our county. So this is the first, I think, economic development project the county's seen in the unincorporated area in many, many years. We're very excited about it. It's a project, they're making a total of $40 million in investment, 35 jobs right away. They'll also supply, get a lot of their supplies, hopefully, from our local wheat farmers. If they, our farmers can cycle wheat into their crop rotation, and they have gone into many communities and really done good things for the farming community. The other thing, the reason we like this project invested so much is because they also have another company that is moving here. As soon as they get the facility built, they will actually grain flour, pipe it over, and connect to another building with more jobs. So we're pretty excited about the project. It's typical interlocal that we would sign, and to give you reassurances that the money will not go to a private company and they will walk away. If I were you, that's what I would want to know. The fact they've already put down $6 million on this, a lot of that in capital equipment, is certainly a point. They have signed a very, very detailed, we had some attorneys draft a very tight economic development agreement that holds them to the jobs. It holds them to the amount of money they're going to spend. We're watching their budget every step of the way. And any receipts, I've worked with the grant committee, specifically Grant Hughes, and have made a commitment that we will show you all receipts for this. I certainly could show receipts now for all the money they've invested. They're not going anywhere. The state is well behind this project, and all we're asking for is that we go ahead and sign the interlocal agreement as was committed by that committee. The only exception that we are asking for is there's a clause in there. I don't know if you want to address that, Leslie. Maybe.
Page 2 of 4 would be the second to last paragraph, is the normal, is the matching funds part of the interlocal, and we've reviewed this before with other interlocals. The next paragraph is what we've added, and so, you know, that's why she's here, and that's why she's also attached the letter from, did you sign that, or was it Dr. Ray?
We were supposed to have redevelopment last week. They're well aware of the letter, but I can't get it actually pinned because they didn't have the meeting last week, so we're getting it signed this week for your files.
Do you have a new one that does say the $6 million in there, though?
We'll make that change, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because at the time I wrote that, I thought it was only $1 million, and I called the owner of the company, and he set me straight that they've spent $6 million so far. I don't know, Commissioner Lynch, if you wanted to add anything at this point.
I'd just say that we appreciate Lawrenceburg's cooperation in this project, and as County Administrator indicated, not only as part of redevelopment, but County Commissioners are very excited about this and activity and you know, the jobs that are coming into the county, and when we're thankful for Lawrenceburg and the 10 County Grant Program for their assistance.
And it is in Dearborn County, and I think that's important to note as well. This is helping Dearborn County, and really what we're asking for is, I think the interlocal had some language about all other funds possible on projects to be expended. I'm sure that was some protection. People couldn't just walk away from a project and get monies. It does say no reasonable request or exception will be withheld, and I guess our position would be it couldn't be a more reasonable request than to demonstrate they're not going anywhere. They have made I just got aerial photos today and was out and visited the site. They're well invested, and I guess to the other point would be that even if for some reason the project would completely fail, keeping in mind that those monies are actually being used to just even improve the property, and that asset would come back to our community as well for another development project. They can't leave with the asset that the monies are being used for on top of everything else. So that's all we're asking for, is we want to just be upfront about it rather than coming in later and trying to say, can we use it this way or that way? We just want to be very clear that we'd like to be able to help reimburse them a little bit for that through that grant program.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
If they're investing all this money, I mean, why is there an issue with not getting that money released until, the matching funds have all been spent?
The only issue is that typically in an economic, to be very, very competitive with other communities that are obviously incentivizing, it's highly unusual for that to be the process for a grant program. I understand, I don't know the history, but I'm sure that was put in place because of those safeguards. And my thought is that's the reason you also added the language that it could be a reasonable exception. It's to show good faith that we are a partner to them. The county did go ahead and is working on deeding over the land. The financial incentives from the county, though, come back in the way of taxes over time. So what we're trying to do is just show them good faith that we do want them here, that we do keep our commitments, and go ahead and give them some financial help, because obviously they're leveraged pretty high and they'll continue to be leveraged. So that's the reason for the request. Rather, it's going to be probably, gosh, that's going to take at least another year for them to finish all the building. So that would be the reason for the request.
And you said in your contract with them, you got some agreements about,
Extremely detailed. I'd be happy to, I guess I could have given you that as well, but.
like say, what if they sold the business in 4 years? Is there anything in there?
Well, if they sold the business in 4 years, it would still have to be a milling operation. We would still see the revenue off of that. If they totally went bankrupt or some exceptions, I mean, basically we have clauses in their clawbacks that would say the money comes back. The money comes back, anything they're given. It's extremely detailed. There was an economic development attorney out of Indianapolis. Of course, we had never done it before, so we got a really tight agreement, and guarantees.
The owners of it or corporation, if they sell it, 4 years down the road, they're not required to pay that grant money back since they're selling it and within a certain period of time.
I would have to pull the actual economic development agreement to go. It's like several pages long, so I'd have to look at I don't want to tell you exactly what the agreement says, and I'd be happy to provide you with a copy of the agreement. This particular company is a family-owned business that's been in business for literally hundreds of years. They have a Hopkinsville, Kentucky location and one their base operations, and this will be another one for them. So they don't appear to be, their financials were vetted out. They're a very strong financial company, and it's a family tradition business, so the odds that they would sell out are very slim in our estimation as well. But I guess it's as good a guarantee as there are with any businesses in the world today. So that's about the best I can do to answer that question.
Any more?
I got a question. 1,400,000 in 2 installments, 700,000 in 13, 700,000 in 14. So 700,000 we still got left in the 213 budget for the 10-county grant program. We've got the 700,000 there now.
Yeah, but now that we've done their non-reverting fund, there should be no problem. That money could be put in the non-reverting and, right? Is that what you're about
The 1.4 is
We can
there.
take the whole 1.4 and then put it in the, do we have that in the 10 county?
He said it's their grant.
That's
The
everything.
1.4 is been earmarked, and it would carry over in the non-reverting.
Plus we got 400 and some thousand extra, did you say, in 10 county grant?
Remind me what project that would be.
I don't know what we've got.
I think we got more than that at this time.
Got more.
We should have more than that.
Yeah, we're getting hit hard paying up, but yes, we're in pretty good shape.
So this
But
won't affect 214 at all? It's
No, it's not.
213's money?
It's 13's money.
Any conflict of interest? Any disclosures that should have been disclosed before this grant gets approved and we find
Oh,
out?
I understand why, okay, took me a minute there. I understand why you asked that question. Not at all. This company came to us completely random. There are no relationships with anybody, politically or otherwise. It's just a good family business that wanted to grow their business here because of the tri-state area and where their business was. No connections to anybody, so.
I think the rail.
And it's by rail, and it's going to help railroad traffic. There's just a lot of good reasons why we supported the project. It's a wonderful project, so.
Any more? Okay. Read the resolution.
Do you have a number, Jackie? I realize.
No, I got the ordinance number. I didn't get the resolution number. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I can get it to you tomorrow.
Okay. A resolution regarding the entering into an interlocal agreement with the Dearborn County Redevelopment Commission. Whereas the city has the authority to enter into interlocal agreements pursuant to Indiana Code 36174 at second, and whereas the city of Lawrenceburg desires to invest a portion of its gaming revenue in surrounding Indiana counties in the form of economic development grants, and whereas Dearborn County, Indiana was granted some monies for the project it was sponsored with Seymour Milling Company doing business as Whitewater Mill LLC, and whereas the city of Lawrenceburg wishes to enter into an interlocal agreement with the Dearborn County, Indiana through the Redevelopment Commission for said project. Now therefore be resolved by the Common Council of the City of Lawrenceburg, Dearborn County, Indiana, that the city of Lawrenceburg enter into an interlocal agreement with Dearborn County Redevelopment Commission for the Seymour Milling project.
Entertain a motion?
I'll move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
Aye.
Roll call, please.
Just a second. Jane?
No.
Aaron?
Yes.
Mike?
No.
JR?
Yes.
It's 2-2, dear.
So yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Leslie, I got one question.
Yes.
Was the interlocal agreement already approved before we approved the resolution?
Approved?
Yes. I got an interlocal agreement here. Was that approved before we approved the resolution?
No, this was just a copy of the interlocal that I put in your packets Thursday.
Who approved the interlocal agreement then?
You just did. Or-
By resolution?
By resolution.
And this is the agreement?
Yes.
Thank you
very
again.
much.
Thank you. Jane Pope, Aaron Cook, Breakfast with Santa.
I'll start when you come in with the money. Breakfast with Santa Claus is going to be at Dearborn Adult Center on December the 7th at 9 a.m. and 10:45 a.m., ages 0 to 12. And Mr. Cook will take over from here.
I didn't really put this on the agenda, but I was, like to say that a lot of the kids that I see, I've been there for 6, 7, 8 years straight, and a lot of the kids I see there, this might be the only Christmas present they get at these breakfasts. And what does the city usually donate, Jackie?
Last year, I think we gave $6,000 to the Breakfast for Santa, and this year we gave, I think, $6,000 to the Easter Bunny breakfast.
Now we're broke, so now what do we do?
This one.
That's some appropriation.
Yeah, advertise it.
I'm getting a couple bikes for them. That's a little bit of it.
I can look and see if there's some money, Aaron. If you guys want to donate some.
That's a good deal. It's really good with the kids.
It's just the one spot, Jackie, on that.
Huh?
There's another.
I signed this one. Is there more than, oh, okay. There's the other one. Oh, this is what I was looking at.
You
You got the resolution?
When we done talked about the budget, there was a line item, I think, that hadn't been used for, something to do with the school. That
Oh.
could be used for,
There's some money in the LHS activities line. But
And
it's
we-
not a whole lot. Yes, we could use that.
It's 2,500.
is that what it was? I was thinking it was more than that.
No, it started out more than that, but I've used some.
Is there any other line item you could think of that you could move?
Not off the top of my head, but I can look tomorrow.
You want to make a motion or you want me to?
Go ahead, but I don't know where you're gonna get it from.
I make a motion for Breakfast with Santa Claus to donate $6,000 if Jackie's able to come up with the money.
Here a second?
Second.
All in favor? All against? Next year, when we do a budget, we need to put these in the budget.
We've already done the budget.
When we do the next budget.
Okay, all right.
We'll put this in
I'm with
budget
you, I'm
next year
sorry.
We
every
could do
year.
an additional appropriation
Um,
at the beginning of the year.
At
You guys remember that? We could do that.
7:10.
And we won't have to mess with this every year.
Here, you need to sign that one. Yeah.
Anything else?
I have something under, if I can bring it up under new business.
Is it on the agenda?
Mm-mm.
Put it on for next meeting's agenda then. We'll stick to the agendas.
I'll tell that retired employee.
Huh?
That, thank you.
Do that for now.
Oh, it was given to me today.
Any old business? That's the VOTOL revolving loan guidelines and ordinance.
All right, took another stab at this. In your packets, you have copies of two proposed guidelines. In my email that I sent to you, the first one is along those lines, Mr. Cook, as far as I tried to address what you were talking about on the third bullet point. I just put at least 2 elected city officials. One would have to be my mayor, one would be you guys, and then you get one, and then he would get 2 others. The second one is how Ms. Pope, you suggested, which was, it was 5 council members. And I did put in the caveat there, unless any said members are unwilling to serve, then any vacancy will be filled by the mayor. Any council member unwilling to serve must notify the mayor in writing of his or her intentions. So that doesn't require you to be, well, and I was thinking down the road too, because these guidelines are probably going to be in effect for a long time. And so, come next administration after that, you're not requiring the council people to be the revolving loan committee.
Is Exhibit A, number 1, is that the same as the last time except for that change?
Yes,
Changes are on page 8, right?
Yeah.
correct. That's the only change.
If the committee, or the board, whatever you want to call it, is supposed to be the council, why would you even give them the choice of not serve? Make decisions of
Just
the
because of some
citizens'
of the
money.
discussion last meeting. That's why I put it in there like that.
Well, the motion was for this board to put this together to correct loans that's already out there.
The motion was to correct loans, you're right.
And we all agreed to serve on the committee. And I put a motion on the table to do that. So
That's why I sent it out to you by email. Like I said, there were some people, I believe Mr. Cook and Mr. Bruner, kind of were just, whatever it takes to get this thing passed. I just put a couple different options out there. The only reason I put the part about unwilling to serve, I mean, like I said, if you are willing to serve, you'll be on it. But if there's a council member that doesn't want to, it doesn't, that made sense.
Always got to sneak something in there. How about did you get me a copy of the law that says this can be done and who can do it?
There is no copy of any, there is no case law as to that you can't. And believe me, it's been researched over the years many times in my office, so there is no prohibition that city council, I mean, you do have to do it under the revolving loan committee,
but it does not, there is no prohibition against you doing loans.
We get this thing done. This needs to be done. I don't care if council's all on it, but we need to get this done.
I'll go with,
I'm speaking, let me speak first. Let's get these loans done and over with. Because we got some loans coming up that needs to be taken care of. I'm willing to waive my part, let council do it.
I agree with you, Mayor. I think it should be the mayor, along with all 5 members of Common Council, will serve as the loan committee. Delete the rest.
We definitely have to do some of these loans.
You're talking about starting with unless, cross out the rest of that paragraph?
Yep.
Oh, man.
So, point 1, the mayor with all 5 members of Common Council will,
It just says revolving loan review committee is comprised of the mayor along with all 5 members of common council.
that'll work, don't have to add anything.
Okay. This is something that badly gonna have to be done.
Can we do it now, if we just cross that out, or we gotta read?
No, I mean, what I can do is, sure that's put in there like that, but I can cross out the original.
Are you working on 1 or 2?
What if we white it out and take a 5-minute recess and bring it back?
I mean, that's crossed out.
I mean, it's fine with me either way, but,
I mean, I can put in page 8, there's no way for me to print it.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me tonight or next time, I just,
We just admitted it, so.
Well, if we pass it, we would probably all should initial
Where I marked,
what
where I
she,
marked out.
where she marked out.
That'd be fine.
Which as I asked in the past, can each page be initialed by each member? And then also, I would assume you'll be taking out the committee appointments shall be for 1-year term.
Yes, that was only if it was going to be a
bullet-
non-council member.
Bullet 2 will be omitted.
Well, since they're gonna be on a big council,
Yeah, we need 1-year terms. That way you're not going over into any other. But one he was talking about, Jane, is the 4th one down. Each RLF member who's not a council member serves at the pleasure of the mayor may be removed at any time.
So we're gonna remove that too.
well, you might as well remove 3 too, resident of Dearborn County, 'cause they have to live in the city, then if they're council.
We gotta remove 3.
You don't have to, but it's pointless.
I mean, we live in Lawrenceburg, so we live in Dearborn County. I would go ahead and omit it, simplify it.
Okay, we can bring it back.
wanna go ahead and do it tonight since you clarified all that?
If Leslie's in agreement with it, I'm okay with it.
Fine.
And you're taking out about living in the county because since it's
Take out
council.
the first bullet, all but the first sentence of the first bullet point, 3 and 4 bullet point.
And we're gonna take out bullet 2 too.
For a 1-year term?
Right.
The new council will be in anyway.
True.
New council will become,
So we're gonna leave the first statement in on bullet 1, delete 2, 3, and 4.
So the first bullet point is only going to say the mayor along with all 5 members of common council.
Correct.
Okay, do we need a committee chairperson, or will the mayor sit as the committee chair, or will we elect?
be presiding officers, what I'd be.
We gotta make some adjustments down there too then.
Where?
You be the
All the way at the bottom.
Says we need to elect a chairman. We've agreed that the mayor can be the chairman. So we're gonna delete electing a chairman, but I guess we could elect a vice chairperson and secretary.
True.
You in agreement with that, Mayor?
Oh, man.
So we're just taking out chairman, and then we're gonna put a sentence in there that the mayor will be the chairman?
Yes. Actually, I could put it up under the first bullet point, if you want me to. The mayor, along with 5 members of council, the mayor shall serve as chairman of committee.
Are we ready?
Give me a short minute here. Okay, will that make any changes to the ordinance? We made changes to the process, but we'll need any changes to the ordinance.
No, because the program guidelines is section 2. It doesn't say, it just says the common council desires to reestablish RLF, so it doesn't say how. How is in section 2, which is exhibit A.
Good to go. Okay, we should be good to go to read it.
Mike, you gonna vote for this?
Yeah, that's what we agreed on.
Are you, Aaron?
I am.
Okay, we're ready to
The
read it.
ordinance number?
24.
Ordinance 24, 2013, an ordinance concerning the revolving loan fund. Whereas the Common Council of the City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana has authority pursuant to its statutory and home rule powers to adopt this ordinance. And whereas the Common Council previously established a non-reverting revolving loan fund, RLF, for the purpose of making loans to promote economic development within the city. And whereas said RLF was established by a unanimous vote of the Common Council but not formally by ordinance. And whereas the RLF was to consist of 1, money appropriated by the city, 2, money available in the development agreement between the city and Indiana Gaming LLC, 3, money received from the repayment of loans from the RLF, and 4, any other legally available source. And whereas the Common Council created a loan committee to administer the RLF, and whereas the Common Council is the fiscal body of the city, is the only governmental entity of the city with the authority to establish funds of the city by ordinance, including the RLF, and whereas the Common Council desires to reestablish the RLF in order to legalize and validate the RLF, and whereas the Common Council desires to modify certain provisions governing the administration of the RLF, now therefore be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, as follows. Section 1, fund established. There is hereby reestablished the revolving loan fund hereinafter RLF as a separate non-reverting fund of the city for the purpose of promoting economic development of the city. Section 2, program guidelines, that the RLF program guidelines and procedures attached hereto made a part hereof and designated as Exhibit A are hereby ratified and confirmed. Section 3, severability. If any section, paragraph, or provision of this ordinance shall be held to be invalid or enforceable for any reason, the invalidity or enforceability of such section, paragraph, or provision shall not affect any of the remaining provisions of this ordinance.
Section 4, ratification. All loans approved by the prior loan committee with respect to the revolving loan fund are hereby ratified. Section 5, repeal of conflicting provisions. All ordinance or parts thereof in conflict with the provisions of this ordinance are, to the extent of such conflict, hereby repealed or amended. Section 6, successor and interest. Effective with the passage of this ordinance, all rights, responsibilities, obligations, liabilities previously held by the board become the rights, responsibilities, obligations, and liabilities of the committee. Section 7, effective date. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect immediately upon its passage and execution by the mayor.
I have one problem. Because I didn't, while we was talking. Section 4, ratification, which I've always said in the past, I won't agree to that. Because ratification is approval of an act of its agent where the agent lacked authority to legally bind the principal.
And where did you get that, Mr. Lawrence?
Definition of ratification.
In the legal sense?
I'm just telling you.
Well, as far as the ratification, the reason you have to ratification, and this is my understanding of it, is that because of, in order to do anything with the prior loans, you have to ratify them and basically make them your own.
Because it says, the term applies to private contract law, international treaties, and constitutionals and federations such as the United States and Canada.
Right, by this legislative body. That's a ratification. Ratification, I don't know. I don't think there's a, and what you're wanting to do is to ratify all the prior obligations. Just makes sense to me.
Can we take a 5-minute recess?
Okay, 5 minutes.
Are you saying that's going to cause us liability?
I'm not done.
Thank you, Mario. They don't have any paper right on that.
I don't know.
I didn't know it was bad until Bobby called.
We have Stuart just email me. HC Holland is the best one to email me. Tell me how many you need. I will tell you how many I have. Jerry Hacker takes care of
Hey, how you doing?
Be mine if
Let me look at ratified real quick.
Brian got his thing moved down this way. He'll be there the rest of the week.
I have a little boy, 6 months.
Okay.
So like,
It'll be after.
Let me, do you have the number down there, or you may give it to you?
I'm sure I can get it.
Yeah, it's, I've been at for 6 or 7 years today.
Well, I just wondered.
That may be.
Double check.
Well, I just.
Once they get the.
539-3116, that's Marie's line, she'll know more about it, but it's pretty good. Kids, they have different age groups, like, 0 to 2 can win certain prizes, 3 to 5, whatever. You can bring your kids, or are you bringing somebody else with you, or just you two, or, just you two can go too, you don't have to volunteer, but you can go there and eat breakfast, or,
down at the beach, a picture of Santa Claus there. I think it's like $5.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I don't know, yeah, but if you want a volunteer car, if you don't, then you got some good. Like I said, I'm not going to be there this year, but I've been for 7 years straight.
Okay, I thought Bobby was doing it. No, okay, that's fine. Where are we gonna take the money from? Huh? Oh, okay, I'll look at that.
We're not going to do garbage talk, are we?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're supposed to go to council, yes, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, because mine's, I mean, I know you said on the side, mine's on its side right now. I mean, and they're hard to pick up for elderly people, I'm sure. Okay. Yeah, like, that's fine.
Okay, thanks. Thanksgiving, huh?
I know we deal with.
I don't feel so either, so it would be great if there was like a last order.
I know that we have valid by formally ratifying to affirm that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that looked too good on the DVD. Well, that's why I told her get over it. She doesn't know. Has no clue. Yeah, a lot of days. But it'll all work out.
Get ready to go out of town for Thanksgiving, trying to blend it all.
I am, honey. Oh, I have to. Don't worry. Yeah, I have to. Thank you. Thank you. I know.
They paying you for this? Oh, man, you doing this for nothing?
Oh, yeah, he's done that. If you can use other voluntary, I will. Thank you.
That makes the rest of us happy.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Oh, never. That agenda could be blank and you'd still have a show, I guarantee it.
If I could reach the gap in my spackets.
5 minutes look.
Yeah, oh, it is. Should be anyway. Huh? I don't know. Oh, is that what she's doing? Oh, yeah, I figured she was smoking. Nobody can get away with Richard. Okay. Okay.
All right, get out of here. Well, each propane's got a different sound to it. That's what they put turbos on. Back on.
Before you brought it
Doesn't mean that we're saying.
We're responsible for illegal runs.
We have to do whatever we could to make those right.
What if I send you a message and
At least 6, if not 8 or 10 hours every day. Only do what enough time. One thing I'm technically challenged. The basics.
Don't you read that?
There's a court of appeals. Oh, maybe it's that point.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
You can't do it.
I just like to look at it.
What you're saying is, they did those ones without authority. Same thing about
Yeah, but it says from the beginning.
Oh, now it makes
That's awesome. I'm very happy.
Conclusion?
Sure makes for exciting.
All right, everybody ready?
Yeah, we need to.
Back to session. What do we come up with?
That was the first reading.
We haven't voted on.
No.
Is the ratification, still got a problem with that? Or
Yeah, I do.
anybody else got a problem with ratification?
Leslie said we could take it out. And then we could move forward with what we got.
Okay. Does everybody want to take it out? Let's make a motion to take it out.
I'll make a motion to take section 4 ratification out of what will be ordinance 24-2013.
We have a first, a second,
Second.
all in favor,
Aye.
all against? Okay, there now. Now we're gonna vote on it. Motion to approve first reading of ordinance number 24, 2013. Need a motion? I need a motion.
So move with the correction.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor,
Aye.
all against?
Aye.
Roll call, please.
Hold on. Jane,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
JR.
No.
Okay, it's 3 yeses to 1 no.
Okay. Need a motion to suspend the rules for reading ordinance number 24 by title only for the second time.
So move.
Second,
Second.
all in favor,
Aye.
all against?
Ordinance number 24, 2013, an ordinance concerning the revolving loan fund.
Reading ordinance number 24 by title only, second time?
Motion to approve.
To
She
approve.
did that. Go down the next
For
one.
the second time?
Yeah.
Well, you can't because it wasn't unanimous.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
Next time. Oh, well.
I was
Bring
gonna
it
say
back
that back in.
Okay,
Okay, come up next meeting.
yeah.
Okay, Mike Clark, off right-of-way concrete.
Thank you, Your Honor. I wanted to bring it to this board's attention. Mr. Lawrence has mentioned a couple times he felt that it wasn't offered to
Speak up, please.
Speaking of microphone,
the
Can I
program
interrupt Mike
wasn't
for just a
offered.
second? Leslie, can you send down the markings out where we can initial each page as he's talking?
Well, we gotta do the second, third reading, so that would happen.
have when you get down to second, third reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, and we tried to look into this. We did find one residential street that absolutely has not been offered this program, and that's Hardwood Ridge Drive at the end of Randy Avenue. Randy was done. When we did Randy, I mean, Hardwood's a new subdivision, basically, and it was omitted. I know we looked at a couple other streets. Mike mentioned Industrial Drive. I was never directed to look at those. It was mostly for the residents, because we haven't offered it to Industrial or to Tanners Creek Drive or Lighthouse Drive or Florence Drive. So I wanted to bring this to your attention and see if we could get any direction on this.
Anything to the board?
Yeah, Mike, I believe that there's a lot of businesses around town that wasn't offered the program. Not just those residential streets and that you talked about. And it's just kind of odd when I started raising some eyebrows that now all of a sudden somebody wants to say about addressing it, which I still say it's not a legal process.
Well, there again, and this has nothing to do, I'm bringing it up to see what this board wants to do. I was directed to try to get all the residential streets handled for this program. You know, I wanted to bring it to your attention. There was one residential street that was not addressed. It's up to you guys to determine what and how you want to go forward with that.
Well, I'm glad that you put the concrete program on the agenda because I kind of felt that I couldn't bring this up until it was on the agenda. So I got a lot of questions about the off right-of-way concrete program. That's fine, right, Mayor? It's on the agenda.
How many questions you got?
Oh, I don't know. Quite a few.
We might have to make another meeting. If it's that whole stack you got, we're gonna have to make a special meeting for it.
Well, we can ask some questions, surely.
We're not gonna stay here all night, Mike.
But surely we can ask some of these.
Some, but not, we're gonna stay all night. If it's that many, we're gonna make another meeting.
Well, and a lot of it, you know, just a couple questions to sum up a whole lot of it. I was just curious of who decides what people are going to pay back.
That's set up in the agreement form where they get an estimate. I mean, it's,
In the contract.
yeah, per the agreement.
Because just from ones that I selected out, I didn't do every one, but we have people that are required to pay back anything from 1.8% of what the city paid to 40% of what the city paid.
Mike, did you get that? I had my secretary put the agreement in your.
I picked it up, which I haven't got.
Did you look at that to see what the unit cost was on that? That is what determines what the homeowner pays back per those units.
But I can't figure out though why some, if you take what the city paid to what the citizens charged, why is there from 1.18% to 40%?
It's just different units work out differently. I mean, I can't give you an exact answer on that one.
I got a comment.
Go ahead.
I think when you got into doing other things besides the slabs, the steps, you charged labor. And I discussed it with you and Mario many times. And
It's not labor.
Let me finish. And I told the citizens at that meeting that we had over concrete to watch your contracts very carefully, because you're not only paying just for concrete, which the city promised each and every citizen out there. You're only going to pay for the concrete. That's not true. They paid for their concrete, plus they paid for labor and materials. And you agreed with me, and you said you was going to change the contract, whether you ever did or not. I haven't seen the new contracts. But when you came and give me my bid for the work that I wanted to do at my home, and I talked to Mario, I said, no way. I can go out and hire somebody and get it done cheaper.
Well, first off, I agree with you, Jane, number one.
Okay, thank
No,
you.
now
Thank
listen.
you. Now, every one of yous need to know that if you purchase concrete in the city of Lawrenceburg, you didn't just pay for the concrete.
You're
Square yardage of the
absolutely
contract.
correct.
And you were promised you were only gonna pay for the square yardage of the concrete. You got charged labor and material on top of it.
No, you do not pay only for the concrete.
That's what was promised to
that's what I agree.
citizens.
No, they
That
were not
was what
promised
Mario
that,
walked in my
Jane.
backyard and told me, Jane, you will only be charged for concrete.
And they went over.
I talked to my neighbors. They said they were only how many of yous out here purchased concrete?
Hold on, come on, hey, what time now?
And was told you were only gonna pay for the concrete.
Can I read right off of this exhibit?
As long as you read the whole thing, Mike.
Well, this is exhibit whatever here, I can't, it's only one page that but it says, the city of Lawrenceburg will pay the time and material cost for a free 10 by 20 concrete driveway pad for each property owner. That's in the paper I'm looking for. Hold on. Saw it somewhere else. But then also, speaking of that, I saw on some of the drawings where it says that can only be used for sidewalks, can't be converted to anything else. But I've seen a lot of bills where they credit $444, and they didn't get a sidewalk.
But to go back to Jane's thing, they were promised a 10 by 20 pad, correct?
I'm talking about all concrete.
No.
It said no material, no labor.
No.
The city would assume the material and the labor.
Anything above that 10 by 20 pad, you were paying some labor and material for.
That wasn't my understanding, and I don't know if a lot of the citizens understood that.
Yeah, they
either.
did, because we went through it on what the unit cost schedule was and how, depending on how much they wanted done, they knew exactly what it was gonna cost them and why it was gonna cost them that much before they signed that agreement. And if they didn't wanna do it, Jane, that was great. They didn't have to. And that one statement, and I will say this started out, Reso Engineering was doing this initially in the design. That was a statement. That contract gradually got modified and the amounts changed, and that was one line that somehow was missed until you brought it to my attention, 2 years ago? And I think I did adjust that and correct it on the newest forms.
And I agree with you, Mike, if people didn't want,
But
they paid, they seen what it.
they knew how much it was gonna cost them and why each different type of work they had cost so much, because it's on that same sheet of paper.
But if
So you
would've-
can't read the one top line and say, this is it, when you have a full sheet of paper.
Okay. What do you think, if you would've went to the citizens and they was told, well, yours might come out that you're gonna have to pay 40% back of what the city paid, but your neighbor might only have to pay 1.18% back.
Well, and there again, I was unaware, and I'm taking your word that those percentages are correct. We were given unit costs on what it would cost the property owners, and the city was gonna pick up the rest per each separate unit cost. That's what we told the people. We never once, when we had our meetings or sit down with people individually, said that all you have to do is pay for the concrete. We're picking up everything else. That was never said. And this is how we determine what it is going to cost you. And I'm sure that everyone knew that, but before they go and sign off on a contract, we spent time trying to explain how much it costs, why certain types cost different amounts, and it was all on that paperwork.
And I can just tell you from people that have
been working with as far as trying to collect these, all of them knew that $444 that's deducted from them was the free, was, the whatever 10 by whatever it
The
was.
free 10 by 20.
Pad. They were like, wait a minute, and they made me go back through and check and see exactly where it was. The free came off, and I mean, at least 3 or 4 people. I mean, I haven't dealt with a whole lot of them in court yet, but at least 3 or 4 of them came to me.
Now, Jane, you took the free 10 by 20, correct?
It was less than that.
Well, I mean, you didn't pay anything.
No.
You had to measure up some additional stuff that you didn't want to put in because it was over the free charge.
No, because I broke it down and I found out what a yard of concrete would cost.
But it was over the free charge, is what I'm saying. You decided not to.
But what a yard of concrete would have cost would have been, you was charging me triple for what the concrete itself would cost. And you did tell me I was only going to have to pay for the concrete, Mario. You did tell me that.
For the 10 by 20 pad.
No, you told me for everything because it was all flat.
We broke it down for you.
I know you broke it down. When you broke it down, I put my calculator to it and I called Dearborn Gravel and I found out how much a square yard of concrete was.
Yeah, and it wasn't going to add up to what the unit cost scale was. It was on the paperwork. I'll agree with you there.
And you did agree with me 2 years ago, you and Mike in a meeting, you did agree to me that was being presented wrong.
I did, and I told you I would change that. That was something that was left from the original document, but there was enough supporting information beyond that, and when each property owner was sat down with and gone over what the units cost, so it wasn't, nobody could walk out and say that, well, I'm only paying for concrete, because that was not, it was never told to them that that's all they were going to pay, depending on what they wanted.
Well, I can say I didn't take nothing.
No, and right before you got into office, Mike, you kept bugging me about when they're going to get to my street. Well, I want a bunch of work done. And
I asked.
And
sure
you didn't. You didn't get anything. I will.
I sure did. And just like I've asked about Industrial Drive, because I've had business owners ask me, but I wouldn't get it for nothing. Ain't going to happen.
And that's fine. That's your choice
You know what I've
and
told
option.
everybody? I don't blame anybody for taking it because it's not their responsibility if it's right or wrong. And I just want to, I got a few other questions. I asked that about the percentage. Sounds like you
How long
don't.
is this going to take? If it's
really
going to take
know.
long, we're going to do this in a work session.
It's a public meeting.
We're going to do it in a work session.
I never seen an ordinance that says we're on a time crunch.
I said we're going to do it in a work session. It's going to take a long time to do this.
It's not going to take that much longer.
Okay, let's get to it.
And then, like I go over concrete credit memos, concrete that was wrote off just in 2013. Never went back any farther. Concerns me that we got a bunch in here that says write-off per city council. I sure don't ever remember voting to write it off. So I want to know who made that decision to put on this papers, write-off per city council.
What job was it on?
All of them. I don't know which one you want.
Well, I mean, you're saying.
Quite a
that-
few. Majority of the stack. But then, because I'll let you think about that, see if we can get an answer. But then I go back to,
Let me see him, Mike.
I never voted to write off any concrete.
so then I go back here,
Did you, Aaron?
and there's some that,
There were some, I don't know about voting for city council, but when those were turned over to us, there were some that were uncollectible because either the statute of limitations had run up, because it's $10, it's 10 years, $10, 10 years on a contract. If it was over 10 years, we were SOL, we couldn't collect. I know that's the only time we would tell Dina to write them off. We never said council vote for that because they're uncollectible. There's not anything you can do. There were some other ones that either maybe not had a signed contract or not have a signed, so, I mean, when you're talking about writing off, it's bad debt.
but it says.
Could that have been Dina doing that, referring to you as council
Yes.
instead of
Yeah, instead of the city
The
right.
board.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean, I know
wondering if that
when we
could
reviewed them to
possibly
begin
be
with, We sat
that.
down with all of them, any of the ones that still have money, and basically told her, these are uncollectible, or people we can't find. I mean, we have sued people now that we still, we're at a standstill because we don't know where they are, and we can't serve them. We'll probably keep the case open for a while, but if we can't find them, that's probably also a write-off.
To say per council or per city council?
Per city council.
It
And
says per city council.
Yeah,
I just
don't-
wonder if she was referring to,
No, it said
Liz?
city
Per
council.
city council.
Well, they're saying that, but I mean, it's spelled differently, unless she spelled it wrong too,
Right,
council and
because the
council.
counselor, as you as an attorney, is different than council on this board. Is it spelled COUNCIL?
Mhm.
That's us. We never wrote off anything.
So I just want, the record to show that we didn't write anything out. We didn't vote to write it off.
Like I
But
said,
then-
without looking at them individually, we're guessing. So we need some reference as to what you're speaking about.
There's quite a few in here that, everybody's called with problems, quite a while, different things. And, they'll say, file to J with O'Mare.
Say what? I didn't hear it.
File to J at O'Mara.
Jason's superintendent for
But, why does it say file to him?
If there's a problem, then they have to go out and look at it. They go out and look at them. Mario usually goes with them. We have a few that we've started to try to collect on, and there's been issues that have arose. And we've stopped, continue the hearing until it can be addressed. Like Mr. Gherkin, he paid the other whole half of his bill the day after you guys wanted, the whole thing with the mayor. You're gonna have to sit down with the mayor. But he came in the very next day and paid his whole other account off. But he still called me the other day about what's going to happen with that. So, there are some problems, and we're trying to rectify those. And that's been going on even during Cunningham's administration, I know. So,
But like this one, for instance, it says Gary called, he did not get all the work he was billed for. Was also told that he would not be billed. And then it says file to Mario Todd and J at O'Mara. And then in this anyhow, there's not a signed contract. And then it says write off per city council.
what's the dates on that?
On which, for the
The
calls?
write-off part.
8/6, August 6th,
Was there
13th.
anything paid at all, Mike?
See, we're really gonna have to, if you have
Like on
questions
that
about
one,
all of those, we're really gonna have to be able to look at them and.
Make
staff.
copies for everybody so they can see what you're looking at too.
Yeah.
We need to have a work session.
Would-
Make copies what you got.
Which I have no problem, I'd love to have a public meeting and we can go over all.
Fine, we need, it's gonna take a long time to go through all that.
Well,
we'll set
you
a
know
work
something?
session.
I had 8.5 hours in there last night,
Well, that's
my
good for
time.
you.
Then there's one in here, which I'll dig it out, but it says that, might even be a couple of them, that O'Mara would absorb the cost.
Correct.
So I can go over and I can request and I'll get a copy of where they reimburse the city.
What they're gonna do is catch up when the program's completed or the contract's completed for this year. Those are all denoted on the sheet.
I think they ought to write the city a check.
Well, I believe they're going to once they're finished up with everything.
Yeah, but why, this is, some of this stuff's, I can't remember that one, but I think it was quite a while ago. Why wouldn't they just have to write a check? And then there's one in here where.
there have been some in the past that was done, Mike, and they ended up doing a deduct on their bill for that amount.
Off their labor.
Yeah.
Like you got an example so they know what you're talking about, one instance or anything?
Like this one here. The guy complained about it, and then on January 24th, Mike Clark, there is a warranty work to be done, put this on hold. And then June 21st, Mario called O'Mara. O'Mara will absorb the cost of this instead of redoing the work.
So that, if it was a warranty work, they'll either pay what the deduct is, or they come in on their own dime and take it out and put it back.
Yeah, but the thing is, we have it in here that it was wrote off. They should have wrote a check for it. It shouldn't have been wrote off. They should have reimbursed the city for it. And they didn't.
I can't say they haven't, I don't know.
Yeah, the contract's not complete yet.
Well, why is it saying write off, that it was wrote off? It shouldn't have been wrote off. They should have wrote a check.
That means that the contractor has basically come to an agreement with the property owner that they're gonna pay X amount of dollars of what they owe.
And then there's a couple in here that says write off per Mario Todd.
And again, it may be a deduct from O'Mara. I mean, if you get copies, Mike, I'm sure we'll explain all to you.
Mike, what we need to do, we need to make copies, is everybody see what you're seeing? Let's set up a work session, do this. What's a good time?
I still need to get some direction from this board on the one residential street, and then there's some industrial commercial areas that, there again, no one's ever directed me to even include those, but we do have the one residential street. Do you guys want to look at offering it to them? Do you want to close the program? I mean, that's...
What do you want to do?
According to the State Board of Accounts, we broke the law again in 212 and 213. I made a motion that there would be no more concrete contracts entered into after 2012. I make a motion to shut down the concrete program to keep the city and Lawrenceburg in line with the law.
Already did that, didn't you?
He's asking again, and I'm making a motion
That
to
was
just completely
it.
shut it down.
Your first motion, I think, when you made it, was the end of the year it stops.
You're right.
And I think that's basically what you're doing right now.
No, they went ahead and made new contracts in 2013.
That was my last thing I wanted to bring up.
New contract.
I was curious, because we have a bunch of, I'm just gonna say newer contracts, that there was no date put on them at all. I mean, I've never signed a contract before that I thought that if it didn't have a date on it, and it says, okay, 48 months of payments. Well, how you gonna say when those 48 months start and end, if there's no date on the contract? And then one other thing is, I've heard in these meetings several times that, first couldn't go after people if both parties didn't sign, couldn't file a lien. Well, guess what? Got brand new contracts that was done in 12, 13, whatever, that one person signed it, and there's two property owners. So who do we hold accountable?
As far as the liens go, I mean, you can't put a lien on the property, you're right. It's still a judgment.
But after it was brought to the attention in these city meetings several times that it has to be done in order for a lien to be filed if somebody doesn't pay, why would it continue?
Where did that happen in the 13, or for the...
Well, my guess is it's probably all the ones that had no date put on them. But for sure they was done in 12 or 13, either one. And both parties didn't sign the contract.
He's talking about last year. You weren't here, Leslie. I mentioned it to your dad that a mechanic's lien, and then he said both parties had to sign it for it to do that.
Mechanics lien is different. A mechanics lien would be like O'Mara filing something because you didn't pay for something.
Yeah, it was just a lien.
Yeah.
On the property.
Anytime you get a judgment, and if it's not against someone that's married, only married people. If you don't get one, it does not go against a jointly owned property.
Right, and Mr. Votal explained that well, and they continued to allow only one spouse
And again, I heard
sign.
Mike and I heard you say that, but I am not aware of any
Well, I'm just
after
going
the
to say,
city
you're the
notified
construction
that.
manager. Do you think you should maybe have been responsible for seeing these contracts or something?
I'll take the blame. I'll take the blame for it.
Okay,
I've
well,
always said, I'll take the blame, you guys can have the fame, I got no problem.
I don't need any fame. It's about right and wrong. Why when
You're debating something one-sided right now.
I'm debating something one-sided?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have.
I mean, I can give you a stack that shows that they're not signed.
and
I'm
that's
gonna do this right
fine.
now.
Well,
You're
that's
going to, we're
fine.
gonna make copies of these things so they know what you're
No,
talking about too.
I done this,
Wait, but
and
you
you're
don't
not
hold
gonna
me.
tell me
You don't hold
what
me.
you're gonna do
I
with
run
these
this
documents.
meeting. I run this meeting, you don't.
You're not gonna tell me
We're
what
gonna have
you're
a-
gonna do with my documents.
They gotta have a chance to see them too, Mike.
Hey, I spent hours.
We don't have copies of them marked up
Okay.
like this, so.
And paid $200 and some to get them too. Thank you.
Mr. Butler, isn't those the ones that Mr. Butler requested?
Yes, but I paid for
Those were
them.
$438.
Well,
We
whatever
can set
that
up a work session on this.
$400 and some.
Jane, when did you make that motion, do you know?
I made it right off the get. I believe it was January 2012.
It was early.
I believe it was. Okay.
So in accordance-
Okay, and that's fine. I just wanted to bring it to your attention, though, that we did find one street, one of our newest subdivisions that we hadn't done. So I
find out
wanted to
when they
bring
wanna
it
do
to
it.
you guys.
I'm not
We'll-
going to commit any
we'll
more
drop it.
illegal acts. I'm sorry. No. I made a mistake.
Let's set up a work session for this.
12.
They can get some data together. Good time for everyone.
Can't do Monday, but I can do Tuesday next week.
Tuesday next week,
Let's wait till after this.
say
always
5 o'clock.
When is it?
Tuesday next week, 5 o'clock.
Is that the week of or the week before Thanksgiving?
We've got, at 6 o'clock, we have a BZA hearing next Tuesday
At 6?
at 6.
What's Monday? Anything Monday?
Wednesday.
Leslie can't do Monday.
Wednesday's the night before Thanksgiving. A lot of people travel that night.
What
No.
about Monday night?
This is next week.
That is one.
Why don't we just,
I'm not doing anything on Thanksgiving week.
well, why don't we just make it early on the 2nd? Make it a work session before our regular council meeting.
We can do that. Is that all right with everybody?
Fine with me.
Time.
I don't know, what time's good, what time Bill
It'll be
gets?
December the 2nd.
Yeah.
Judging on that stack down there, we better make it noon.
4:30? I mean, I know he can't be here.
I can be here anytime after 4.
After 4? We'll do it 4:30?
It's fine with me, whatever anybody else thinks.
Okay. Guys, is that okay with you? 4:30 on December 2nd?
Well, sure.
Be a work session, yes, with council. You advertise it?
Yes.
Monday, Aaron.
Okay.
That's
All
the
right,
day my
moving
dad
on,
died.
Jackie Stunts, ordinance 23.
That was the additional appropriation ordinance that we did the first reading and we have to do the second and third. Let's see.
Jackie, what number did it have on?
That was 23.
Well, what,
And we had already given it 23 last meeting, so I just left it.
well, which
What?
appropriations? Those ones you gave to us, we did the first reading last time, correct?
What? I'm sorry.
You did the first reading last time, correct?
On this one, yeah, at the last meeting. Do you want to start with motion to suspend the rules and read by title only for the second time?
You ready?
Whenever you are.
Everybody ready? Okay, motion to suspend the rules for reading ordinance number 23 by title only for the second time.
I'll move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against?
Aye.
Roll call, please.
Jane?
No.
Aaron?
Yes.
Mike?
No.
JR?
Yes.
Yes, it's tied.
Yes.
Okay.
You can't vote on an
I
ordinance.
can.
Oh. So then we have to put this off until the next meeting? Fine by me.
Mike, thank you for being our legal counsel. I really appreciate your presence.
Okay,
Has to be a free vote.
and we'll do that on December the 2nd, too.
Any comments from the audience? Hearing none, review, discuss claims, board approval.
Wait a minute.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion adjourned.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I doubt it. And seeing there again, that's back when Bob was doing it, he had all the residential.
Yes, it is.
Oh, we don't have anything.
I forgot, I put everything else in there but that. I don't know if she got the checks done quite yet, but she'll be in, I'll check first thing in the morning, and I'll let you know, okay? She can get that taken care of. Okay. Oh, hey, did you see me back my chair up? I thought, I'm not getting in the middle of this.
That's what we did like the 8.
No, that's why I moved back. Hey.
Or the in-line
No.
part of it.
Yeah.
Every time we have
It's just, the second, they're gonna have a council work session.
And there again, I understand it was still a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a deal, though, even though it's expensive.
Oh, I know. Brittany, you leaving this here for you?
But no, I understand that.
That's okay, yeah.
We'll see, Rufus.
Well, you can
See you, but like I said,
Consider.